Hello, hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com, and I am here to bring you a live paper crafting class. It is Wednesday, July 6th, 2022, as I'm coming to you live. I love it when people subscribe to my channel, when you give me the thumbs up. So thank you to any of you who have done that so far. And it's so fun to read the comments that are coming in on the live from YouTube before the live actually begins. I can see where people are from. They're telling me about the weather. Like Jenny said, it's unseasonably warm in Alaska, up there at 86 degrees recently. Craziness. And yeah, some people on my team are with me. I saw Rose's name. So fun. So thank you so much for joining. And a big welcome to those of you who are also joining from Facebook. I see Linda's saying hello from Connecticut. Lives are great. Anyways, I am going to share a fun fold card with you today. The card is called a Freestanding Floating Panels card, or panel card. I called it panels with plural, an S at the end, because it's more than one panel. So, and it's vertical. I saw a horizontal version, which is the thing that kind of inspired this whole presentation today. Marcine Ingram, who was my showcase stamper for the month of June, she did a horizontal version, and then she said she got the idea from my direct upline, who was her second level direct upline or whatever, Susan Campfield. And so I'm going to quickly go over to Susan's blog. I want to give you a glimpse at the beautiful versions that she has of this fun fold card. So this is Susan Campfield. Again, she is my upline, and you can see she used the beautiful hues of happiness. I actually cased this card when I was learning how to make it, so I'm going to show you that one, so I can kind of turn it here and there so you can see the angles and all that stuff. Look at this. So pretty. Pretty ideas, right? And anyways, I have a link for that in the description of my YouTube video, and I will post a description into the Facebook post after it goes live. I'm still learning how to bring the information over to Facebook when I prepare my lives and get them scheduled. In fact, I'm learning. I learned something the other day, so hopefully I can do better at that next week. But yes, so welcome everybody. Chime in if you're new. I would love to hear if you're new to my lives. What are we going to do? We're going to first talk about my moderators. I want to make sure that you all know, whether you're watching from Facebook or whether you're watching from YouTube, that I have someone in each location monitoring your comments to make sure that questions are answered, guidance is given, all that sort of thing. So if you're looking for answers for something, you have a question, you can actually tag Trisha Josephs in your question. You just start typing. You start what do? You do the @ sign. You use the @ sign, the A with the circle around it. You start with that, and then you immediately start typing her name, TRICIA, Trisha Josephs, and it will tag her. You got to, of course, click her name. So you click on it, and then whatever you write afterwards, she'll be able to see what you wrote. Now, Lisa Marshall, who is on Facebook, it cannot be tagged, but she's there trying to read everything she can. I have a crazy cat, you guys. Can you hear him? Lucky is being very vocal today. I was actually going to be right on time at 11 a.m. Central Time, and he was meowing and meowing, so I let him out, and now he's at the door again meowing. He's just going to have to stay outside. So yes, tag them, or even just write their name and maybe they'll see it better. But here's some information for those of you that are watching on YouTube. There's already in the description of the video a link to my blog post, which is going to go live a few hours from now. It's going to go live at 5 p.m. Central Time, so about 6 hours from now. And also in that description, you'll be able to see links to all the products that I've used or that I'm going to use to make the two different versions of this fun fold card. And there's also the link to Susan's blog. So those of you that are watching on Facebook, after this live is done, I will quickly go in and edit the video so that I can add that description information, okay? So, all right. Oh, prize drawings too. So if you are actually commenting It's good to comment. You're going to get entered into a prize drawing, and we do have some after live comment prizes also. So anybody who commented after the lives were done, either on Facebook or YouTube from last week, your names were entered into a prize drawing, and I've got a couple winners from that to share with you today. So prizes, yay! Let's do supplies and measurements. Now my cat is looking at me from outside the window. I am going to ignore him. If I look over at him, he is going to keep meowing at the door. Lucky's cute, yes, but I'm not in a yeah, and not in the mood to empathize with him today. All right, so here we go. We've got the date up there. It's July 6th, 2022. This is the Awash and Beauty Freestanding Floating Panels card. And I'm actually going to show two different versions of it. The second time through, I might go a little bit quicker. I like to teach when I do my videos. So those of you that want to just see the end results, click on the blog post. All right, so here we go. Measurements for card number 1 and card number 2. They're slightly different because the belly band is a little bit different and the inside areas are a little bit different. So you can see those. You can either take a screenshot if you want to, or you can wait until my blog post goes live at 5 p.m., which is in about 6 hours. And then you can take and download this PDF. It will have the photos of the cards and all of that. And then you can see the supply list is over there. Now the supply list does include a beautiful suite. And I start with the suite name. The whole entire suite we're using for this card, for the cards. So if you do not own the suite at all, you can get it all with one order number. If you own parts of it, then I've also listed the separate pieces underneath. The bundle is the combination of the stamp set and the dies. And if you buy them together, you save 10%. That 10% is included with the suite price. And then if you want to get everything separately, you can see that they're all listed underneath those first two. So the True Beauty Cling Stamp Set, Organic Beauty Dies, Awash and Beauty Designer Paper. I heard a lot of you talking about the different patterns in the designer paper. I saw, and some of you commenting on the beautiful papers and colors and patterns. And then of course the iridescent pearl. So it's made up of 4 different products. Then you can see I've got a couple ink pads in here. The first one I'm only going to do the Versamark ink, which is a really special ink. So if you're new to paper crafting, you're going to want to get your hands on this. You're going to at least want to put it on your wish list because it's a great ink. It's called Versamark. We're going to do some embossing with it today. And I think that's it. So let us take that away from the screen. We're going to go over to the, I'm going to click on this really quick on my computer. You guys don't know what I'm doing. Behind the scenes stuff. Here are the 2 catalogs that are current. Now these are catalogs in that there's product that you can purchase within. We also have a brochure going on right now. Let me pull that out. We have, it's a brochure. It's not something that is necessarily the same as a catalog though, because it's got free product in it. So you'll want to pay attention to this also when I talk about Celebration. I'll bring that up towards the end. But right now we're going to focus on the annual catalog. The mini catalog is our newer one, but we are doing what's called a blog hop today. Myself and 11 others in my all-star group, we create tutorials every single month. And once a month, we do a blog hop around that particular bundle that we also did the tutorials on. This month's is, of course, the Awash and Beauty Suite. So all of us have created a really unique project that focuses on the products in this suite. And we've gotten our written measurements, our photographs, our videos that are all exclusive bundled into a tutorial that you can purchase. You can purchase tutorials at the beginning of each month, so at the start, the first day of the month. So our Awash and Beauty tutorial has been available. You can find that by visiting my website at stampyourartout.com. And that information for the tutorial will be in today's post as well, the one that goes live at 5. But also, we're going to do a blog hop today. So you'll be able to see twice as many projects that way, right? So if you've gotten the tutorial, now you can see a second project from each of us that is in the blog hop. Here's the Awash and Beauty Suite. It's almost $80, $78.75 in the US. It includes the stamp set and the dies, which is the bundle here, the designer paper, and those beautiful iridescent pearls. So let's look at each of these products real quickly. This is the beautiful paper. It comes in 12 sheets, 2 of each of the double-sided designs. So here are the floral, the big bright floral sides, I should say. And on the back side, we have more of a monochromatic type of patterning. So we have more subtle type designs. And some of them aren't even designs. They're more like a watercolor wash. You can see this one was mentioned as a beautiful design. Yes, it is. I love this one too. In fact, it's on one of the cards. And it is balmy blue. And then we have the mossy meadow floral, and then this kind of like, it's almost like a fabric with the lines going through both directions. Oh my gosh, the A side, gorgeous. You cut this one into 6 pieces. You've got 6 card fronts. This one we'll be using today. The back side of this one and the back side of this one we'll be using today. We'll also be using a portion of this paper because all of these can be die cut. So there's a set of dies, right? And these coordinate with the images of the paper and of the stamp sets. So you can die cut all these little images on this sheet. Crazy. Then we've got the beautiful bouquet type of arrangements. We're going to be using a few of those, a couple of those, and then this paper as well. The colors that are in this suite, if you wanted to get coordinating inks and cardstock, we have Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Calypso Coral, Granny Apple Green, Mary Merlot, Mossy Meadow, Polished Pink, and So Saffron. All right, and here are the dies. Since I brought those up, we might as well look at those and the stamp set at the same time. On this piece of magnetic sheet, I have dies that coordinate with the images that you can just kind of die cut out. You know, they're called, well, we used to call them framelits, but they frame the images. And now we have like the detailed dies over here. So these do kind of independent, more detailed imagery. And then we have this beautiful one here. I used that one on my tutorial that's in the, that's the exclusive one that you can purchase. Oh, and then you can see that there's lots of great sentiments here, kind of all occasion. You've got your just because, with love, here for you always, you are a true friend. And then we have the iridescent basic pearls, and you can see how beautiful they are. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a bit here so the light is shining on them better. They've got kind of a multi-color glow to them because of the iridescentness. You may have also noticed that I am sitting on my stool today. It's like one thing after another lately with me. Yeah, I have an injured foot, so I'm trying to not put pressure on it. So if you're looking at the room at a different angle, it's just that I'm sitting down, trying to relax. Here is the card that Susan Campfield created. I cased it. It's not an exact replica, but you can see as we open it up that you can see these beautiful panels here, right? And here is an aerial view of it. So let me walk you through that. And the belly band is probably the best way to go with this. You could do ribbon, you could do magnets or Velcro, but I think that would get too bulky because this is already multi-layered. The belly band kind of just pulls it all together. So, all right, so let's start. And a big thank you again to Susan. I forgot to tell her that I was doing a version of her card today. And I don't know where she got the idea from or if she created it herself, but it's genius. It's really cool. So we're going to go ahead and grab our trimmer. This is our paper trimmer. We're going to cut this in half at 5.5 inches. So this is our 11 by 8.5 cardstock. We're cutting it, the 11-inch side, in half at 5.5 inches. I'm using my dark blade to cut. And then I'm going to cut it again. So I'm going to extend the arm on my trimmer, and I'm going to go to the 7-inch mark. And we're going to cut it there. All right, so now with this piece, we're going to put a couple score lines in on each side. So we're going to score this way twice. We'll flip it around and we'll score that way twice. So we're going to go to the 1/2 inch mark. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the measurements on this side of my trimmer. So I'll zoom in just a bit here. We're going to bring it right to that 1/2 inch mark. And we're going to use the light blade, which is the scoring blade. And we'll score. We'll lift it up. And now we're going to bring it over to here. Where the colors change, that is the 1.5 inch mark on the trimmer, the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. So we've got a score line at the 1/2 inch mark and at the 1.5 inch mark. We're going to turn it this way. We're going to score again at 1/2 inch and at 1.5. We're going to do one more or two more marks. So we're going to turn it this way. And it actually doesn't matter which way you go because it's the same either direction, but we're going to just pick which side is the top. I'm going to choose this as the top of my card. Thanks, Shirley. And we're going to press it in there at the 1/2 inch mark, and we're going to put our score blade right down here where the first score line is and just push it up and out. So I'm going to press and go out. Now you can see that there's an extra little score line in there. Can you see that there? If I turn it at the right angle, maybe. It's there. There, now you can see it. And then we'll keep it there. I shouldn't have lifted it up, but we'll keep it there. And we're going to start at that score line down here. So this one at the 1/2 inch mark, we're going to start there and we're going to pull it downward. So we've created these tiny little squares in each corner. Let's move this out of the way for just a minute. We're going to bring in our snips and we're going to snip. Actually, we're just going to snip here. We're going to snip once from the side, okay? And then we're going to take that intersection point where they meet up and we're going to go straight out to that other score line, the top of it. Okay, so there's where that other score line is. It's right there. So we're just going in and up. We'll do the same thing on this side. We'll cut in and then we'll go from there and we'll cut out. So now we've got kind of like a little angle up there at the top. Creates kind of a fun, and you don't have to do this part, but it's a fun look. It's pretty, I think. Okay, we're going to now use our bone folder and we're going to crease on that score line in this direction, crease on the score line in this direction, and it is okay that they do not meet up in the middle because we're going to put panels here. Let's fold these back now because these are going to attach to those panels. So we've got one here and one here. These are going to be where we add adhesive and where we attach the panels, okay? All right, next things that we cut, we're going to take our other half of our paper and we're going to come in and we're going to cut it 2 inches and then again at 2 inches. And we're going to get two pieces that are 2 by 5.5. These are our front panels, okay? Mary says, I hate injuries that interrupt or limit crafting. Yeah, I know. I'm usually a stander when I craft. I like to stand when I do it. I don't know why, but I'm managing as long as you guys are okay with seeing the bottom portion of the room behind me instead of right straight back. Okay, and then after you've cut that, that's going to remove 4 inches from here. You've got a little bit left, and actually what you have here is about 4.5 inches. And that's perfect for cutting these little guys. So I'm going to show you how to cut them. So we've got 4.5 by 1.5. So let's say we've cut off those 2 inches. Okay, 2 and 2 equals 4. Now we're left with this 4.5 inch section here. And what I would recommend for doing these pieces that have a score, 2 score lines going through them, is to just start by scoring. Okay, it's going to save you some pain or trouble from trying to hold a skinnier piece within your trimmer. And you're just going to score at 1/2 inch. You're going to score at 1 inch. And then you're going to bring it all the way to that mark again at the 1.5 where the 2 colors change. And you're going to slice. And that's how you get that piece super fast. Okay, so that's my little tip for that. You're going to get 2 of those. Those are going to be pieces that are like mechanisms that help pull out the next panel. So in between the 2 by 5.5 panels, we need even smaller ones. So you're going to have to actually get a new piece of paper. And oh, did I mention that I want you to use the regular basic white? It's going to help make your card a little less bulky because the thick basic white is a little bit stiffer, and I think it just lays nicer with the regular basic white. Okay, so these are the last two pieces of white that we'll need for this card, and these measure just under 5.5, so 5.25, and then a 1/2 inch smaller than the other panel, so 1.5 instead of 2. So if you're looking at the panels for comparison, and we kind of lay them on top of each other like this, you can see that in this direction, they're a 1/2 inch shorter, but in this direction, they're just a 1/4 inch shorter. Okay. All right. Then we're going to cut designer paper, and I've already done it. I've already done it for this card. You're going to cut designer paper for each of the panels. So I've got the ones that layer onto the larger panels and the ones that layer onto the smaller panels. And these panels, oops, here we go, are a 1/4 inch shorter in each direction for each layer. So here's my larger one, here's my smaller one, as you can see. And the measurements again are on that sheet that you can download. So they're a 1/4 inch in each direction so that all the way around, when you center it, you've got that 1/8 inch border. We will layer those on. The other pieces that we will need for this first card come from this sheet. So this is one of the sheets we're going to use, and we're going to die cut from this sheet. We're going to bring in a couple other sets of dies, and these die sets are called the Stylish Shapes dies, and then the Layering Circles dies. And the Layering Circles dies take up 2 magnetic sheets. By the way, these magnetic sheets, these little folder things, all come from Stampin' Storage. You can find that information if you visit my blog and you go to my favorite things under the shop menu. Then you can find links to those things, okay? All right, so we're gonna need the second to the largest. So if we layered them all together, the second to the largest smooth circle, and we're gonna need the largest of the stitched circles. All right, set those aside. So what I think is best for this is if you actually take and use your snips and you just kind of fussy cut around where you want your dies to go. And I really like the ones with the darker orangier color, the deeper colors on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I think, yeah, this is the one we're going to cut that out with. I think it'll work. Yep, so we're going to go ahead and cut far enough away. You know what, I'll just lay that on there as I do it. We're going to cut far enough away so that we can get that beautiful bouquet cut out of there. I'm going to have to cut into this one over here. Sorry. All right, so that one. And then the other one, actually, you don't need a whole circle for. Oops, sorry. You only need like a 1/2 of one, or even less. Well, maybe a 1/2. We'll go with a 1/2. So I'm just going to kind of trim around through here like that. And we'll die cut those in a bit. And we'll set that sheet aside. And then this one is going to work with the cardstock. So the cardstock that we're using that coordinates with this is the Blackberry Bliss. And we're also going to use another scrap for the inside. This one's kind of too big, but that's okay. And then we're going to use a strip. And this strip is 1.25 inches by 8.5. Thanks, Rhonda. By the way, Rhonda, you earned a free set, you know. I think I emailed you yesterday. Okay, so let's start putting this together. Yes, Rhonda earned a free stamp set. Yay for Rhonda! All right, so looking at, let's just look at Susan's card. Looking at this card, you really don't want to put a busy paper on the larger panel. You want to put something that's a little more subtle. So that's why we're going with the Mossy Meadow piece here, because it won't distract or detract. Is that the word I want to have? It won't take away from the beautiful floral in the front. It won't be competing with it. Distract, detract. It probably, both of those would work, I'm sure. Okay, and then we'll add these to the smaller panels. like that. And on my second card, I hope I remember to tell you something about the beautiful floral paper and a tip for that. I cut it in such a way, or I have it in such a way where I'm going to hopefully remember, but if I don't, somebody scream it out because I'm trying to peek at comments today. Okay, we're going to do zigzags with these. So we're folding in one direction and then the other direction so that we got kind of that Z fold. See what I mean there? Little Z's. Or if you flip it around, you've got S's or number 2s or 5s or whatever. So now we're going to crease this. We call them Z folds just because they make that zigzag look. And we're creasing all of those folds so that they lie as flat as we can get them. Okay? Now, do you see this too? We've got them in 2 different directions. You want to have them in 2 different directions when you're adding them to your card. Let's first add the larger panels though. So the tip that we have for the larger panels is that we want them to come together in the middle. So we're just going to worry about one of them first. Let's start by adding adhesive right along this section here. Okay, we've got the adhesive on there. Hopefully you can see the shine. We're going to line it up using the edge. We're going to keep everything folded down. We're using the outside edge of the card like that to lay it all down. And now we'll press. So it's lined up with these edges here, this edge, and this edge here. And now, if we were worried about doing that on this side, we might actually create a gap or an overlap in the middle. So instead of focusing on the outside edge over here, we're going to bring this edge here right up to this edge of the whites. We're going to make the edges of the whites touch each other. Because what you can always do, I mean, well, you probably don't want to do it now that we've added a panel, but what you could always do if you didn't add this designer paper yet is if it stuck out too much, you could trim it and then your panels could go on, your designer paper panels. But it's okay if we have a little bit of extra going off the side. There's the cat again. Maybe you guys can't even hear him. He is ornery today. But you can see there's a little bit going off to the side here, and that is quite fine because this distance from here to here is only 4 inches. I'm going to measure that for you so you can see. See, we have only 4 inches there, and we have plenty of room for that card to fit into our 4 1/4 inch size type of envelope, okay? Now let's add these two with our zigzag pieces. These are the ones that are going to attach the front panels. And when we put these on, you want to see here how they open up, right? So if they open in that direction, you want to make sure that this one goes to this side and this one goes the opposite way on this side, like that. If we flip them the other way, they're going to open the wrong way. All right, so pay attention to that when you are doing your adhesive. All right, so in fact, you can see whether I put the adhesive on this side or this side, I can have it here or I can flip it. And you know, if I put it on the other side, I could flip it and it would work. In other words, just put adhesive on one of the sides and it'll work, okay? So we've got adhesive here because you can flip it this way or you can flip it that way. Does that make sense? Okay, now that I've got the adhesive here and I know which direction I'm going, I'm going to hold it flat so that I can see what it's looking like. And I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch in on this designer paper. I want to see 1/8 of an inch in, and I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of the card. But I want to expose 1/8 of an inch on the designer paper. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when this extends all the way out, it's going to be attached here, right? When it extends all the way out, oops, it's going to attach here. When it extends all the way out, it's going to keep that little mechanism covered up. It's going to keep it covered. Do you see that? It's covering up the whole thing. So we're going to be attaching that so that it lines up with this edge because the width here, 1.5 inches, is the same as the width here. And when we open this, we don't want to see that. We want it to stay covered. So by having it right to that spot, it's going to work. So we're now going to put adhesive here. And we're going to lay this on here, making sure if we have a design that's going in that direction, that it is upright. You can see I'm attaching it right to the edge of that piece right there, this little mechanism piece. It's getting attached right there. And now again, when I open this up, it covers up that whole mechanism. Let's do this side. And again, you know what? I'm just going to prove to you guys that it doesn't matter which side. So it's going to open this way, right? And I want to put adhesive on the back side, but let's say I put adhesive on this side instead. Uh-oh. Don't do that, Rachel. So I've got adhesive on this side. It's okay because you can flip it and turn it. See? Now it works again. All right, we're going to go 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the designer paper. And we're bringing it all the way down just because it's easier to line up everything, okay? So we're bringing it all the way down. Now we're going to put adhesive here. And we're going to line this up, making sure if there's a direction, it's going in the upright. And you can see there's stems on these flowers, so it's probably best that we have it in this direction. Now we'll line up this edge with this edge. So you can do it like this if you want, or you can just lay it flat. And I'm going to lay it flat because it's easier for me. Press it down. And there we go. Now we've got our panels all attached. Isn't that fun? Oh, Carolyn Piercy has 6 new baby kittens. Oh, so cute. All right, now on the inside of this card, we're going to have a fun banner piece. I forgot to pull that out. So of our stylish shapes, we're going to grab the largest of the banners and we're going to die cut. But because these stamps are not see-through, they're not the photopolymer, I'm actually going to do the stamping and embossing first. And then we're going to do the die cutting. So we're going to dive into embossing now. Let's go ahead and take our Versamark ink out. Before we actually stamp on here, we're going to use a collection of tools that is new in the mini catalog. This is actually returning tools. We have the powder pail with the brush, we have the embossing buddy again, and we have this wonderful tweezers where you push it together to grab something and you let it go to hang on to it. So let's take that out of there. We're going to go right across our paper. And what that's doing is it's taking away any fingerprint oils, anything that might be damp. We're going to ink up our stamp. We're going to stamp it down. Okay, we've now added our image to the top of our cardstock. You can see that, right? What it's doing right now is it's deepening the color of that cardstock. So tone on tone is perfect for Versamark ink. If you're a beginning crafter, you want it just for that right there. You can create tone on tone look. You can just allow this to dry. Now we're going to take, and normally I have my embossing powders in a container like this, but I'm going to show you how to use this little guy. So you've got this cap on the end, and that just screws on and off. We're going to keep it there, okay? And pretend that this is just in the container that it normally comes in. So we're going to sprinkle it on from that container. It's going to go into our powder pail. See, and it's collected all the powder. And then we can undo this cap down here. We can tap it and it goes back into our container. We can use our brush because those containers that they normally come in are super small. So now I've got all my powder back into the little tiny container that it normally comes in. So that is a perfect little addition to your embossing stuff. Okay, we're going to grab our heat tool and we're going to start heating. I'm just going to bring it off to the side over here where I can get the heat going. So it's getting warmer and warmer and warmer. I've got it on the highest setting and I'm going to come in. And here, I know a lot of you are like so concerned about my fingers. I'm going to go ahead and hold this with the tweezers first. I'm somebody who I just got in the habit of holding my papers with my fingers when I emboss. And it's just the way I am. So, but it can burn you, so be careful. If you're angling it towards your fingers, ouch. Okay, So we have now changed that powder into a raised, beautiful ink. Okay, that powder is now raised and white. It's a little warped, but that's okay. We're gonna put adhesive all over the back of it. Did you see how I kind of angled the heat gun underneath it for a bit? If I was going slower, I would pay attention to that and make sure that I was doing that. You can also put it against a foil covered sheet of chipboard and it'll help keep it flat as you heat as well. All right, so there's that. We're gonna bring in the machine and we're gonna die cut all of these pieces. Let me pull those in here. Okay. All right, where did it go? Here we go. Here's our lovely machine. We've got our platform level 1. I have to get the die adapter sheet. Hang on. Die adapter number 2. My scratchy pad number 3. And for this piece, I'm going to use a sticky note. I'm lining it all up. Can you guys even see me? I'm standing right now. I'm lining it all up and hopefully it'll stay there. It's kind of a warped piece of cardstock. So we're just going to run this piece through first. And there's our beautiful piece, You Are a True Friend. And then the other pieces, let's see here. So we want a half of one of those, and we want a whole one of these, and we'll run that through. Because I'm not worried too much about the shifting, I did not put sticky notes on them. And then we need this die one more time for this piece. And this piece, because it's really close here, I am going to use a sticky note because I don't want it to shift much. These are just Post-it notes, but you know, you could get another brand if you're not using the 3M brand. Just a sticky note, something that's removable. Washi tape, you can use that. Although washi tape I think is a little bit stickier. All right, so there we go. Now we can set this machine. This is our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Does lots of things and it's so pretty. All right, let's move to the belly band now. So for your belly band, we're going to put a score line. And this is not in the directions, but I recommend putting a score line at 2 1/4 inches on one end, just one end. Then you're gonna fold this all shut. You're going to fold on that score line. You're going to wrap using that score line on one side. You're going to flip it over. That score line not only helps to keep everything lined up so that you don't have you know, a crease that's going off at a weird angle or anything, but it gives you a good starting point so that you can take and wrap this piece and connect to it. So we're going to connect those two pieces now, and we're going to connect them flat with our two-way glue. Or, I'm sorry, not two-way glue. Remember two-way glue, you guys? Sorry for anybody who's been around for a while. This is our multi-purpose liquid glue. It's not our two-way glue. And we're going to connect those two together like that. And if we have any seeping out, we're going to quickly just kind of blot that off. Okay. And we will hold that for a minute. In fact, let's just put something heavy on it. We'll put a couple ink pads on it. There we go. And then this piece can get added to this one. We'll just put some adhesive on it. If you want to be more exact, you can use adhesive all the way around the edges real tight. This one is going to get some adhesive. It's going to go on the inside of the card. And this one is going to get some adhesive on the inside of the card. Let's focus on these two next. So let's slide off the belly band. Let's open up our card. I'm going to add that back on top so it dries nice and firm. We're going to open this up, and remember, this is the top of the card because it's exposed up here and it's not down here. So make sure that you're remembering where the top of your card is. Open it all the way up. Then you're going to add your floral piece in the middle, like this. And then this piece is going to go straight across, and you can come up on it if you want to, so you're just covering half the circle, or you can expose a lot more. I'm going to just kind of go in the middle with this, like that. Come back, bring my belly band back in. Now, you see this? We can put this on the front. There's that seam on our belly band. We can now put that on the front. You're just going to kind of bend your card like that to get the belly band back on. And we can add this here. And I'm going to add this with some seal adhesive, I think. So I'm just going to go straight across, looking to see where my floral arrangement looks best. I think I like it like that. Centering it, looking at the two sides. You'll notice that your belly band now is maybe 1/16 of an inch beyond the 4 inches. That's okay too, because remember, it's still going to fit into that medium size card, that envelope I should say. The last thing to do is to add, using our take your pick tool or snips or just your fingers, but I'm going to use the gummy end of my take your pick tool, and I'm going to add a few little pearls here. These are the iridescent pearls. So pretty. And there is our finished card. So you can see the inside looks like that. The outside looks like that. I'm going to show you another version. I think we have a little bit of time left. We're going to whip through this one. Okay, so the second one is going to look like this. In fact, I won't do the embossing for you because you know how that went, but I am going to demonstrate this flower. So let's go ahead and just repeat the steps of assembling the base. We've already cut it. We've cut the angles. You want to then take your strips here, and you're adding adhesive right along this. You're lining this edge up, making sure that if you have an upward direction, that it's going in the upward position. We're lining that up with the outside edge of the card, the top and the bottom. So this edge, this edge, this edge. Then this one is going to go right next to it, and you're going to pay attention to connecting here more so than connecting here. Add the adhesive, keep everything flat, press it down, and connect. These little guys here, remember, pick a side. Doesn't matter which side. Go ahead and add your adhesive. Now you can see which way they go. We'll add this one 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the designer paper over here. And we'll flip this one. It goes this way, and we'll add that one 1/8 of an inch from the designer paper over here. Making sure that they're connected to the bottom, they're flush with the bottom. And this is what I wanted to mention. This piece here, I actually cut from a piece that was 2.5 by 5, right? 2.5 by 5, making sure I'm doing that right. So I started out with a 2.5 by 5 piece, and then I cut it in half at 1.25. These, I should have done that with my first card. I didn't, so I showed you the same way with my first card when I demonstrated it. But with this one, I did it the right way. And I call this the right way because you can see the flow of the design this way when the card is closed. So we're going to connect, and we'll connect. And now when they're laying really close to each other on the card front, it just feels like they flow together a little bit better that way, okay? All right, the inside of the card, all I did was stamp. I just stamped it with the words "with love." The belly band was done the same way. This time I kept the wrapped part to the back though, because you would have seen the seam in the front. Now I want to demonstrate this piece. So this is embossed, by the way, we just did embossing. This is die cut with the detailed die, but I'm going to demonstrate this really quick. So with your scrap paper, because you have some scrap white listed there. You're going to ink up your floral stamp with the polished pink ink, which is an ink that coordinates with that paper. So you're going to ink it up. You're going to flip it over, and then you're going to use a tool called a dauber. And I just wrapped little color names all the way around mine so that I would know which colors were which, and I didn't have to wash them, clean them out, blah, blah, blah. So then you'll just take and you'll pounce onto your Mary Merlot. You'll pounce in the middle of your color. And because this is a lighter color, the polished pink, it's okay that it might mix in a little bit with your Mary Merlot. Now, I wouldn't want to go in this direction and add Mary Merlot over here, but it kind of, like the polished pink, if it gets on here, it's going to be okay. We're just going to add a little on the edges here and there. And then we breathe on it to moisten the ink again. We stamp it down, and then you just die cut that with the coordinating die from the suite. So that's how I got that. The blue branchy piece, you could do the same way if you wanted to. You could take that, balmy blue ink, lighten it up a little bit, darken it here and there if you want to, or instead, remember you've got all of these. So if you really didn't want to deal with trying to do multicolors like that, where you get the double tones in there and things like that, I just cut one of mine from here, and that's how I got that blue piece right there. And then just layered them together. This one's popped up with dimensionals on the back side. Got a few iridescent pearls on there. And that is the end result of that card. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here again. We've got some prizes. Yay, prizes. So last week we had a couple winners that were from the Afterlive commenters. So I'm going to show you the list of the two different names for that. And the winners that we had from last week, they actually got to pick from a large product, and then they got a little bit of a few magnets. So I'm going to do the same thing with the Afterlive winners. Here, let's open this up so you can see the inside. Okay. Hopefully. There's just too much on the table here. Hang on. Let's go this way. There. We just kind of expanded it. All right. So the Afterlive winners from Afterlive comments, I should say, you get to pick from Sentiment Silhouette dies that coordinate with the Charming Sentiments stamp set, or you get the Wild Roses stamp set. Now, this one is retired, I believe. It was in my retired basket. But it's in new condition, never been used. And then, of course, you get a few magnets to go with your prize as well. So let's go over to the computer, and let's make sure that we've got our winners' names pulled up here. So from the Afterlive comments from YouTube last week, Chris Sarek. I'm sorry, Chris. Why did I say Chris? Carla. Carla Sarek, you are the winner, and thank you for the comment. From the Afterlive comments on YouTube, make sure that you reach out to me. My email address is stampyourartout@comcast.net. And then we also had a winner from the Facebook commenters. Linda Murphy, you are the winner from the Facebook commenters. So congratulations to you two. The first person who reaches out to me is the one that's going to get the choice between the dies or the stamp set. And then today's winners are going to get, and let's go back to the desktop here. Today's winners from the YouTube live commenters. So Trisha's going to pick two live winners. They are going to get a pick of two. So I'm going to bring out some product right now, and you get to pick two things from that pile. Did you guys enjoy those cards today? Weren't they fun? Okay, so here's my stash. I got a lot of it. I got a lot of things here. There's only three of them that have been opened. Actually, I lied. 4 of them have been opened. So these here have been opened, but never used. This is the Frosted Beads assortment that went with the bubblegum stuff. And I know, I never used them. And then we have a thing of polished dots They're opened on the side, but all of them are still within. We've got a couple mask sets, the basic pattern decorative masks. And I think you know what? I think I did use this one, but it's still usable. It's called Plenty of Patterns. And then we also have mini dimensionals. We have brushed brass butterflies, and they look like they got beat up, but they're all in there. This has never been opened. They're all in there. We've got some effervescent elements. They go great with that fun bottled happiness bundle. And then we've got a ton of ribbons. We've got some of the new in color glittery ribbons. And then we have one that's retired with the gorgeous grape. It's that sheer ribbon. So you get to pick 2. All right. So Miss Trisha Josephs, I'm going to leave it to you now to call out the winners. And as we are saying goodbye today, I also want to mention the celebration. So we're in the celebration time right now. Every $50 you order, every $50 worth of product that you order, you get a pick from here if it says $50 next to it. Now, if it says $100 next to it, then you get to pick it if you order up to $100 worth of product, okay? So a $100 order gives you the $100 picks. There's also a stamp set. I should show that to you too. A stamp set that's at the host level. And this host level is great if you're going to be holding parties or whatever, but you can also get this host level stamp set if you have a $300 order all by yourself. So you can either have combined orders together, or you can have a $300 order, and this will come to you if you are the host of that order. So lots of free goodies from there. The very back of that catalog shows something even more, and so I'm going to bring that over here for just a minute. Did she name the prize winners yet? She did. Okay, because everyone's saying congratulations. I have to go back in my comments here. There they are. Yay! Jean Schultz and Bonnie Blake. You are the winners. So you get to pick 2. Make sure that you email me at stampyourartout@comcast.net. Trisha has tagged you in her post. So this here is the Making Plans collection. It is huge. It's a $45 value, although I feel like it should be more. You get a stamp set called Making Plans. You get 3 notebooks. Really cool coordination. Goes with all that Stampin' Up! Beautiful floral decor logo stuff. You get 4 sticker sheets. You get inserts and page separators, calendar pieces. And here's the planner. Look, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And how do you get this? You only get this if you're purchasing the starter kit this month or next. Some of you have asked about it. You're like, where's the price in the catalog? It is not for sale. This is the join special. So it's exclusive, and the only way you get it is if you join as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or you can consider yourself a discount shopper. You don't have to demonstrate in order to be a demonstrator. You can become a discount shopper, which is what a majority of demonstrators are. They love it so much. They love the community so much. They stick with it because it's just so much fun on the demonstrator side of things. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me and I can tell you more information about it, or you can visit my blog. You can click on join the fun, and there's like a whole section about that as well. So, all right, what else do I want to tell you about? I think, oh, and then we have a savings going on. For those of you who are interested in the tutorial from our All-Star group, if you purchase a subscription right now, this month only, you can save 1 month's worth of tutorials. Normally they're $15 a month, or you earn them with a qualifying order. But if you're a demonstrator or somebody that maybe doesn't order from me and you want to purchase these tutorials, this is the best way to do it. Do it during a subscription period. You can purchase them all for, what is it? What's 15? That's 30, 60, 90. It's $75 instead of $90 for all 6 months worth, July through December. So instead of paying $15 a month times 6, you're paying $15 a month times 5. You're getting a $15 savings. So visit my blog, click on that information, and you'll be able to see all of that. You'll be able to get links to it. Oh, Trisha's asking about the garage sale. Yes, so that's the last thing I wanted to end with. Next week, Trisha, in fact, will be joining me. We're going to do our annual garage sale next week, Wednesday and Thursday. the 13th and 14th. So my video next week will not be live. I'm going to be doing a recorded video tutorial like I did when we were out of town. So I hope that's okay with you guys. So next week, no live, but it will still come on at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time. So if you accidentally think, you forgot that there was no live and you're there at 11, you're going to be able to see the video at least at 11. It'll show then. And then the week after is when I'll be back doing lives. That will be the 20th. But yeah, don't miss next week because there will be a new project to share. And if you are near Andover, Minnesota, and you want to join us at the garage sale, you can meet Trisha and myself in person. It was so fun. Last year, she had a lot of people going, "You're the Trisha Josephs?" And I'm like, "Yep, that's her." So yeah, join us. It's all day, pretty much, the 13th and 14th. We're going to have fun. Hopefully the weather will hang in there, right? Have a great week, everyone. Have a great couple weeks. We will see you on the 20th for the next live. And now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.